What's going on, y'all? This is Crispy here, and this is gonna be a bit of an opium video. It's kind of dark outside, so we're doing a supercharger install. So yeah, we're gonna start with taking off the intake manifold and the air intake, and from there we're gonna have to disconnect the ECU and all the fuel railings. So really all you need is a ratchet with the extension. There's 6 screws you want to take off, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, the ECU in that corner, the fuel railing, and yeah, I'm gonna begin that and take off the intake manifold and also the air intake. This one's 3 screws, one right here, one right here. So we just got the air intake off. Now we're taking out the ECU. It's just 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3, and then these 4 connections on the back for the ECU. And after you get those 3 screws off, these are the 4 on the ECU. All right guys, so next step, we got the fuel injectors. So we got 2 screws under the fuel injectors. They're both 12 millimeters right here and right there, and same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to take off those 2 screws now, and then the last step will be the 6 screws around the intake manifold. All right guys, so this side is basically done. We took off the 3 screws for the intake manifold. We got the fuel lining off, so we got those 2 bolts off. We disconnected the ECU, so that's all you want to do on this side. Air intake is off. Now we just got to repeat the process on that side and get the 2 fuel railing and the 3 for the intake manifold. So we got to take this bolt off right there, and these 2 guys, we have the injector tools to push these the 2 fuel lines off with the tool. And yeah, that's all on this side. So guys, this is the injector tool I was talking about. I would highly recommend buying it. It's about $10 for a pack at AutoZone, and it's really helpful. So it has 2 sides, an open end and a non-open end. You get the open end and you put it straight on like that. Whoa, there we go. So it's on there, and then you just push it. You give it a little push in towards the injector like that, and it should just enter in. And just like that. So once you have it like that, you just pull this out, and then a little bit of gasoline is going to leak from the injector, so I recommend putting a towel under, just like this. Okay, and watch this. There we go. So you can see it's leaking it's leaking, but it's fine. So just make sure you wipe it down. So guys, so all the screws are now off. So it was 3, 2, 3, 2, air take, ECU, and fuel rails. And then you got to disconnect these 2 coolant lines here, and it should be ready to pull out. So yeah. So then when you take off the intake manifold, 2 more hoses you got to disconnect down here, and then it should fully come off. All right, the next step is going to be taking off the belt, because the Supercharger has an extended belt because it goes up to the pulley, extra pulley that has on top of the Supercharger. All right guys, so the Supercharger is right here. We're going to take it over to the car and throw this on, and then after we throw on the Supercharger, we just have the new belt, the throttle body, and the intake.
Told you.
All right, so Aiden just showed up. We got Andrew and Ozzy. They're gonna help me install. Elijah's installing bags on his car right now on the Q50.
All right, today guys, we're gonna be doing a backflip, and I nominate Jaden, Chris, and 80bo. Let's see this. I use my hands, but I also use my hands for this.
All right, so we got the Supercharger on. Now we're doing the fitting. There's 3 hoses on the back for the oil, and what's the other thing? I forgot what the other thing is. And then you got 2 coolant lines. You just want to make sure you have access to them through the thing.
What do you mean that you don't know what they are? Report this guy. Report this guy.
So we got the 3. We got the 3 there. 2 on the throttle bottle.
He's a fraud.
And then we got the one that connects the air intake down there. One? And then we have this one too. So we just finished laying it down. Now we gotta put the lines back. All right guys, so now we have the 6 manifold bolts. We're gonna do the manifold first before connecting the lines, just so it's not in the way. All right guys, so we just got the throttle body put on. For the Supercharger kit, we have this extension for it, for the map sensor, I believe, or whatever the hell this is. I'm not sure, I'm not a mechanic, but we got this back on. We just tightened the 2 coolant lines here. So on YouTube, I actually haven't seen a good tutorial on the Innovate Supercharger. The 2 coolant lines that go right here are these 2, so you can have a good look at them. It's these 2, and then the 3 on the back. There's 2 oil lines and then 1 vacuum line. I believe only 2 are connected right now. I gotta connect the 3rd. But yeah, that's how the lines go on the Supercharger kit. So we're throwing on a different map sensor for the Supercharger right now. And then we just gotta screw that bad boy on. All right guys, so we threw on the ECU on this side. It's back on. The ECU bracket is on as well. We threw on the map sensor with the screw that we couldn't fit on, and now we just got to connect the piping for the air intake here. Throw on the support brackets for the engine, and throw on the supercharger belt right here, and the connector to the intake on there. That little hose goes into the intake, and then we should be done. And then we could tune it and get this thing started. All right, guys, right now we're basically mounting the bolt that mounts the supercharger onto the actual block. It's a big chungus bolt, and it basically holds it into place. That we have right there. We're setting up the air intake thing. We're putting the 2 clamps on it. All right, guys, so we're throwing on the extra pulley for the supercharger and throwing on the belt. We got a long ass screw that we got to throw in. So you want to tighten the pulley pretty good. All right, guys, so now we're doing the tightening for the air intake tube. This replaces the intake, what is it? The tube that goes into intake. So we're just tightening that up. So we just got this thing put on, the intake pipe, and now we're just gonna put on the stock intake, and we're done. And then we're gonna get to tuning. So Elijah didn't finish installing his bags quite yet. His car's still in the garage. He's probably gonna be done by tomorrow, I'd assume, right?
Fuck, I hope so.
We got Jaden.
Sorry for cursing. Sorry for cursing.
And Jaden ended up showing up a bit late. He's helped me at the end process of the supercharger install. We got the lean mobile.
This fucking guy also dropped probably 10 different parts inside of his engine bay and got lucky that they fell all the way to the bottom.
I think there might still be some screws in there, but
Did you get the Black Widow that was in there?
no. He saw it live.
I saw
Bro,
it.
he teased it. He literally poked it with the stick, and it ran inside my engine, bro.
It's
So,
probably on the inside now.
yeah.
New Spider-Man movie on the way. This guy's playing Terraria.
Ozzy tuning the car. He's actually a professional.